Action Bronson, rapper, chef, celebrity, entrepreneur, Mr. Do-It-All. He first teamed up with New Balance in 2023. Since then, we've seen quite a few very popular collaborations. My favorite is probably the recent Untitled colorway, and now he's back at it again. Action Bronson, New Balance, 990 V6, Ainozama. And the shoe first dropped on April 18th on Action Bronson's website, then on April 22nd on newbalance.com for $220. So pretty expensive shoe. But first impressions of this shoe, I don't know if this is up there with like my personal favorites of his collaboration and work with New Balance. It's probably honestly towards the lower end. I just think the colors aren't exactly my thing. It's a bit, I think the clash is obviously on purpose with the pink and the minty green and the blue and then this beige on the mudguard. So there's just a lot of things going on here. Yeah, I don't think I'm exactly the type of person to pull it off. Some people can pull this off easily, but I prefer more like monochromatic or like subtle, just under the radar designs. And this shoe, the Ainozama, was originally dubbed the Amazonia, but they changed the name. They actually released a short like clip on Instagram called Amazonia in Paris to describe the inspiration behind the shoe, and it's inspired by artists and artisans, and I'm not too sure what language Ainozama is or exactly the meaning of it. There was someone on Reddit that actually mentioned that it was the language in Madagascar and it's meant to mean inspiration. But when I tried to Google Translate it myself, yeah, wasn't coming up with anything. So not really too sure. If you know, like for sure, please drop a comment below. The shape of the 990 V6s though is actually one of my more preferred New Balances. Honestly, just growing up as a Nike and Jordan kid, it's hard for me to see like other brands in the same vein. I just hold those two brands just so highly. It's just all nostalgia. So when I see a very running shoe focused kind of silhouette, yeah, my mind just doesn't really gravitate towards it. But the 990 V6 is pretty decent. I think the 550 is probably my favorite of all New Balances, but yeah, this is decent. And the materials on this shoe, true to New Balance fashion, there's a few things going on. So on the base layer, you get this mesh material, pretty standard. On the overlays, you get suede, and the suede does feel pretty good. It doesn't feel like as smooth or as like plush and velvety as some New Balance collaborations, but still pretty nice suede here. And on the kind of purple overlays, that feels more like almost synthetic nubuck. And then on the eye stays, you get this mint green suede again. And of course, you see the New Balance logo as well as some other parts. It is that 3M reflective material. So just a ton of colors going on. And then moving up the tongue, you get this mesh tongue with baklava branding on the top. And then wrapping all the way around the TPU counter here, you get Made in USA and the American flag there. And then on the heel, of course, just in case you forget what shoe you're wearing, has 990 branding there. And the shoe doesn't come with any extra laces, just these laces out of the box in this kind of orangey black pattern. And if I had to choose another set of laces, I don't know, there's too many like colors on the shoe to really know which one would look better than this. Maybe white just to make it pop a little bit, but yeah, one set of laces, you don't really get a choice. Now in terms of cushioning, the 990 V6 comes with fuel cell foam. That is a type of nitrogen infused foam that is responsive, also helps with kinetic energy return. And of course it has New Balance's in-cab midsole. That is a lightweight type of foam that is wrapped around a durable polyurethane rim. And when you wear this shoe, especially as someone that has usually just worn Jordans or Nikes, that's like 90% of my reviews on this channel. That's just what I grew up with, what I gravitate towards. And then you put this shoe on, yeah. Especially retro Jordans where it's very flat to the ground. Sometimes cushioning can feel almost non-existent and it just feels good under feet. In-cap has been around for a long time, so it's not like exactly groundbreaking technology. But yeah, the thickness of it for a walking shoe, just casual use, feels very good. And in terms of the outsole here, nothing too surprising. New Balance branding, you get established in 1982 with the New Balance logo on the toe box there. This kind of semi-translucent icy outsole in the middle. And in this cutout here, again, like I said, fuel cell foam, just in case you forget. Insole of the shoe, it is branded here, baklava, New Balance, quality of it, not very good. Box of the shoe, a baklava branded lid. Inside, you get the same thing. And like many New Balances, it comes with these tags. And this is a made in USA shoe, which means this contains a domestic value of 70% or more. And you also get a custom tag, baklava New Balance branding. And now moving on to sizing and comfort, I'm a wide and flat footer. For 990 V6s, I stick true to size. Fits me really well. New Balance has always been pretty good for like wide footers, so I wasn't surprised. And I have worn V6s before, so I knew what I was getting into. Just fits me really well widthwise, lengthwise. Yeah, kind of feels like a glove. It's not too short where your toes are like right at the tip, but it's honestly just perfect. If you're a wide and flat footer, I recommend sticking true to size. And in terms of overall comfort, yeah, the cushioning is very decent. It's a thick type of sole here, so you're not super flat to the ground. And the ankle collar padding around here is, again, if you're like me who wears a lot of Jordans, usually some Jordans can come with very thick padding around the ankles. This one is slightly thinner, but it's not like flimsy, so it won't really dig into your ankles if you have no respect for yourself and wear no-show socks. So that's not really a problem there. And it's lightweight. If you're just wearing this casually, absolutely no problems. And that brings the total sole score of the Action Bronson New Balance 990 V6 Ainozama to 32 out of 50. A pretty average score compared to other collaborations. First, it is colorway. Like I mentioned before, some people can pull this off pretty effectively. Personal preference, it is not one of my favorite colorways of his work with New Balance together. I like the Untitled colorway better. I think this kind of pink base with the blue and the beige and the green, yeah, doesn't really speak to me too much, but that's just me. And in terms of the materials, it's pretty nice. I will say it is not as good as some other like New Balance collaborations. I remember the Toronto Kith New Balance shoes that had like just really nice suede, just so plush. It's like a velvet smooth texture to it. This one is not exactly as nice as that, but it's still very decent. And in terms of the comfort, no surprises here. Very comfortable shoe. It's lightweight, fits my wide and fat feet really well. No pain points anywhere. Cushioning, even though it's pretty old technology at this point, works really well underfoot for like walking around, casual use. In terms of the versatility, I don't care if the dad shoe is like in a hype cycle. Honestly, I think it might be nearing the end of the hype cycle. I've just never really liked dad shoes, that type of running shoe aesthetic. It's just not for me. For casual use anyway. I've never gotten into it. I'm in an age where even if you try to get me into it, I can't. I'm stuck in my ways. Personally, don't think it's a super wearable silhouette. Wearability of the colorway, again, I don't think I can pull this off effectively, objectively. I'm not saying you can't. You might be just a great, phenomenal dresser, but I think objectively, with so many colors, so bold, I don't think it's the most wearable colorway. So overall versatility, it's not the best. In terms of the storytelling, some like baklava branding, and the box is custom branded too. Insoles are branded as well. But apart from that, the story behind this shoe isn't as prominent or as obvious on the presentation and unboxing experience as I probably initially imagined. So yeah, I think decent storytelling, but definitely seen better. This is, I think, the only second 990 V6 that I reviewed on my channel so far. The first one was the Joe Freshgoods Prom Blue colorway. Actually really like that colorway, really like that shoe. This one, even though Action Bronson usually comes swinging with his New Balance collaborations, and usually they're pretty nice, even as someone that's not a huge fan of the 990 V6. Yeah, I think the colors are a bit too much for me. Can't say I love this colorway specifically, but judging from his past collaborations with New Balance, pretty sure the next time they team up together, it'll probably be a colorway that I really like. That's it. Thanks for watching. Soul Inclined. Let me know what you think of the Action Bronson New Balance 990 V6 Ainozama. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come to wear your shoes.